Okay, alright, beautiful people. In this video, we're gonna make this door that can be opened by RFID cards or maybe RFID tags as you see on the table. Now let's do the testing. If I put on a card which is not known by the door, it can't open it. It gives a beeping sound only. Now if I put in a known card, it opens the door, alright? If I put on another known card, it opens the door. Maybe let's test with a tag. This one is known, it opens the door. If now I take this one, gives a beeping sound because it's not known. Use another one, same thing. Put on a right card, opens the door. Put on a right tag, opens the door. Yeah, so this is what we're gonna do. Now, to reproduce this project, you're gonna need an RFID reader, which is RC522. You're also gonna need some RFID testing card. You're gonna need a little speaker, breadboard, and to pull your door, you're gonna need a servo. Any will do, and of course, an Arduino, as that's what we are using, okay? So let's now get started. Now, alright, before we start playing with everything here, let's just look at how, all these components are connected. Starting with the RFID RC522, you're gonna take the 3.3 volt and put it on the 3.3 volt on the Arduino. Again, the ground as the ground on the ground here. The SDA, you're gonna put it into D digital pin 10. The SCK, you're gonna put it in D digital pin 10. The MOSI will be in D11. The MISO will be in D12. The reset will be in D9. Okay. Now you cannot see it right here, but we have seen that in the back there's a little servo which is helping me to pull and push the door. So the way it's connected is the ground is of course on the ground, the VCC is on the 5 volt, and the output of the servo is on D7. All right. Now the speaker, which is this one right here, it only has 2 pins. It has the ground, which is connected to the ground on the Arduino, and it has the output, which is connected to digital pin 3. Okay, now let's go into the Arduino IDE and start coding the setup. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to play around with the RFID reader. We need to make it be able to read cards, then set few cards to be allowed to open the door, and reject all the rest. We're not gonna use any database, it's just Arduino, just that. Okay, so let's go. Now in my Arduino IDE, the first thing I need to do is to include the library for these RFID reader, which is, so I'm gonna do it by including include, then I'm gonna include mfrc522.h. So now the next thing we need to do right here is to define the pins of these RFID reader. Okay, so the first one, I'm gonna define them as constant. The first one will be SS pin, okay, which we're gonna put in 10. Defining the second one. Now I'm gonna define the second one, which is the RST or maybe reset pin, which will be into digital pin 9. Okay. Now we need the map. We need to map the files from the library and its defined pins right here, and we're gonna do it by saying mrfc 522 and then C522, and then we're gonna map it with these values right here. I'm gonna copy, paste, comma, copy, and then paste. All right, so the first thing that we're trying to deal with is to try to make this RFID reader read a card. Then the next will be proceeding after. Okay, now that this is done, we're gonna now go into the void setup. Okay, remember we're trying to make our RFID reader read a card, so we're gonna need a serial monitor to view the the placed card ID. Okay, so I'm gonna begin the serial monitor, begin, and give it a baud rate of 9600. Okay, and I think so now we need to start the SPI communication, like SPI.begin. And then the next thing is to initialize the MFRC522 library. Okay, so we're gonna do it by saying MFRC522 dot PCD initialize, just like that. Okay, now I hope this is so. The next thing we need to do is to ask someone to place the card. So we will display that in the serial monitor. We're going to say serial.println and then say, please place your card. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to do the rest into the void loop. The thing I'm going to do here is to try to, check if this reader right here has read a card, or maybe the card is available in its serial, whatever. So now I'm going to do it by using an if condition and say if, make sure I close it, then go inside here and say MFRC, 522 dot PICC is new, oh my god, is new card, new, oh my god, new, I can't type, new card, just like that, present, like this. And we also, if the card is present, and we also need to see if it has read it. So we're gonna see that by MFRC522 dot now PICC, just like that. And then I'm gonna say now read card serial. Okay, serial, just like that. So now if the card here is, let me zoom out a little bit, if the card is present and that the card is being read, that's when we need to define now a string that is going to hold the value of our card. We're gonna call it card ID, just like that. And to get started, it'll be empty. Now I need now to create its ID, or maybe to display its ID. So we're gonna say for open and close. Maybe let me do it like this so that goes all the way to the top. Now what I'm gonna do here is say byte. We're gonna define a byte named I, which is equal to 0 with its initial value. Now the I must be less than MFRC522.UID.size. Okay, then we will increase, or maybe increment the I. Next thing up is to insert now the or maybe assign the value of the card into this variable card ID that we declared. So we're gonna do it by calling card ID, and then it'll be equal, which means it's replacing. That's why I'm using the plus. It's more like the card, which was nothing right here, plus card again. So now we're gonna say string. Let me close it right here. So I'm gonna say MFRC522.UID.UID byte with the defined I and its hexadecimal. All right, So I think this is right. So the thing we can do right here is to display the card. So serial serial dot print line card. Where's card ID? Okay, and then we're gonna delay like 500 milliseconds, and then ask the user again to type in the card. Right, so here now I'm gonna go ahead and say place your card. Perfect. Now let's cross our hands and try to run this thing and see if it's going to run. Okay, so but we're forgetting something really important, which is to indicate that we have stopped dealing with the readings of the card. So we're gonna do it using this function. I'm gonna say mfrc522.picc halt a, just like that. Okay, so here we are more like saying we're done dealing with the card. All right, so now let's just upload. First I'm gonna check if the serial port is connected, and then I'm gonna upload. So it's gonna ask me to save it. Maybe let me save it somewhere. Test. Okay, hopefully we find no errors. There's something wrong. Oh, print line. Oh my god. Upload it again. We also got another print. What was I thinking writing it like this? So what's wrong? Card ID was not defined. Okay, so card ID was not declared in scope. Okay, maybe let's declare it right here. Oops, it's not even the problem. The problem here is I wrote card just like that. Let me just upload again. So now after this happens, we're gonna read all the cards that I have right here, and the next thing to do is to take few of them and make them known so that they can open the door. That means we'll include the servo, and we'll also include this speaker for the buzzing sound of a non-known or maybe a non-accessible card. Okay, so let's go to the serial monitor right here. You can see it is asking me to place the card, so I'm gonna place one card. That's its ID. Place another card. That's its ID. Another one. That's its ID. Let me maybe use some of my tags. Giving the ID. Giving the ID. So what we need to do right here now is to choose one of these IDs that we just read and set them to be, you know, the ones to open the door. So now I'm gonna copy this one. Copy. Go ahead and go here. So I'm gonna declare an int allowed, which means this one is the card that is allowed to open our door. Oh my god, it's not an integer. I'm gonna call it a string. Okay, so string allowed 1, which will be equal to that, but with, because it's a string, I'm gonna wrap it into double quotes. So I need a second one. Maybe let me just do copy and paste. Copy and paste. Now here this is allowed 2. I'm gonna go now back into the serial monitor to view. Where's my serial monitor? Here. Maybe let's take this one again. So we're gonna call it allowed this one, just like that. Okay, so maybe let's just use 2 cards, okay? So now the next thing we need to do right here is to go a little bit down here right after we read the card right here, okay? Now I'm gonna decide. If that's not the card, I'm gonna say not door closed. If it's the right card, I'm gonna say open the door. So I'm gonna say if. To do that, we're gonna use an if condition. If, okay, and then let me just scroll up a little, just like that. Now I'm gonna say if our card ID, this one, our card ID right here is equal to allowed 1, or maybe our card ID right here is equal to allowed 2. Okay, so what are we going to do is to open the door. So I'm gonna put in a comment of open door. Okay, so now else, if that's not correct, this means that we will close the door. So now here our servo comes in, so that's why I'm gonna define the servo, okay, the door. So to do that, I'm gonna come here and define its pin. I'm gonna define the pin named door pin, just like that, and put it into 7 as we agreed. And the next thing we need to do is to define the servo object. I'm gonna say servo, so servo like that, door, okay? It's the object of the servo. Now the next thing to do is to come here into the void setup, maybe a little right here, and then attach our door, the object of the servo, to its pin. Door attach. I'm gonna put in the door pin that we just declared. And now what do we need to do right here is to go in here where the door is opened. Okay, so first we need our door to start being closed. We don't need our door to start being opened. So according to my setup, I know that when the servo is at a degree of 180, it is closed, okay? So if it's on 0, it is open. So now if I need my door to start being closed, I'm gonna set it right here. So to put my servo to the 180 degree, what I'm gonna do is to do door.right, and then I am going to put in here 180. Okay, so let me copy this and paste it right here. So now, because here it's the right thing that we needed, okay, so I'm gonna put in 0 because I know that 0 opens it up, and then I'm gonna have to delay like 3 seconds, and then the door will be closed again. 3 seconds will be 3000 milliseconds, and then I'm gonna have to close the door again. So to close it, I'm gonna put it on 180 degrees. According to your setup, the way you set your door, it can be different, but the logic is the same. So now what do we do right here? Okay, we need a buzzing sound. We need the sound that tells the user that the card is not correct. So to do that, I'm gonna define now my speaker right here. I'm gonna go ahead and say define, and I'm gonna call it buzz and then put it into digital pin 3 as we've seen. And I'm gonna come here and set it to be an output because the speaker, you know, delivers sound. So to do that, I'm gonna say pin mode, and then I'm gonna say that buzz is an output. Okay, this is very important. Now because we don't need to use we don't just need to put it right there, I'm gonna make a function. I'm gonna make a function to be called whenever whenever the red card is wrong, okay? So I'm gonna put it right after the void loop. So my function, as it's not returning any value, I'm gonna give it a data type of void and then call it decline, just like that. So then in here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the tone of my buzzer to 500 Hertz, all right? And then I'm gonna delay a little. Oh my God, delay, oops, delay like that. I'm gonna delay 200 milliseconds, and then no tone. So here it'll be shouting for 200 milliseconds and then shut down, maybe shut up, I don't know, the buzz with no tone, and then this will also last for 200 milliseconds, okay? So now, if we read a card that is wrong, to call this function, we need to call it into the condition where the card is not known. So I'm gonna call it right here, all right? Just like that. So that makes sense, I guess. Now let's go ahead and re-upload. So I'm crossing my hands so that nothing is wrong. Holy crap. Oh my God, we forgot to add the library for the Servo. Include servo.h. Now if I go ahead and run again, I think things will be great. So let me be putting my cards ready and my tags. So it is uploading. Now done uploading, let me open up the serial monitor to see that it's asking me to place a card. So true card, the door is open, all right? After 3 seconds, it closes itself. Now let me put on another card. This one is known 2. The door is open. After 3 seconds, it closes. Wrong card, giving a beeping sound. Wrong card, wrong card. So let me put on a tag. Wrong. Another one. Wrong. Same thing. Same thing. True card, it opens up. After 3 seconds, the door is closed. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is how you can make an RFID based door. I know this is pretty basic because we don't have any databases, and if we needed to add another card, that asks us to go back into the code and add another variable right here. But this can help you, understand how you can, make a project that is even more complex. So I'm gonna leave the codes under the description of this video, and if you like this video, please click the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, click on the subscribe button, share this to your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend, and until next time, peace.